I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome to episode 586 of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I'm David L. Rhodes. This is the Indian Report, and I got my partner in crime, Tariq Wilson from the HU Pirate Ship. And Brandon King will be coming shortly. As soon as he shows up, I want to just pop him right in, because that's what I do on these shows. So I hope you guys are having an outstanding week on this lovely Wednesday. Reek, how you doing, my man? You there, Tariq? Tariq might be frozen over here. And look who just arrived. What's going on, Brandon?
What's going on, my brother?
I'm doing all right. I think Reek might be frozen. We'll give him a quick second. I might run through the intro while he gets situated.
Okay.
Yeah, he's having tech issues. He just sent me a text. So I'll run through the intro Welcome to 586 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the stories of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, David L. Rhodes. Shout out to Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. And we also have Brandon King and Tariq Wilson, and he will be returning very shortly, I'm assuming, once he gets his technical issues squared away. We are filming live from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Fame Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. So, Mr. King, man, before we get into football, how's everything going, my man? How's things going?
Yeah, I can't complain. The children are doing well. They got their 4-month shots today, so they was, you know how that goes after shot time. So they're a little fussy. But they're doing good. They're doing good.
Good, yeah. I don't miss that era one bit. Let me be clear. I don't miss that era. But I got a 17-year-old, and just for the situational awareness of folks, if you see me turn my head, I'm watching Morgan State and A&T right now playing in Club Corbett right now in basketball. So I'm going to be turning my head, looking at the score. I mean, and I'll probably give you guys updates since, I don't think most of you got full sports. So I'm here to help. Tariq, how you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm back. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm on my backup camera and mic, so I still sound good and look good. A little choppy.
You a little choppy, but you sound good at least. It's better now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully it stabilizes. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. We're gonna get into football. We'll get into football after the break. But I wanted to see if there's anything you guys wanted to talk about within your programs or within HBCU sports as a whole, outside of the football games. So, Brandon, you got anything?
Not too much. I know we talked about, just from a program perspective, the Eddie George thing, and I guess that kind of delves into football, but I'll just say I don't see it happening yet. It's been circling around the block, and I think that chat is only going to pick up as we move forward. But I don't think there's anything to that. On the basketball front, we won a game by 78 points the other night. We beat a school, East-West University. That sounds like something off of Coming to America. Like we played the University of the United States. and
University of the United States.
The score was 59-15 after the first half. So,
Oh my word!
That should tell you about how that game went. So, it's one of those early season games where they play hands across America or whoever they get to come in and fill out some of these scheduled games. So, it's one of those things you can't really make a determination of the skill or what you got as a team when you beat up on the Rugrats by 80. So,
oh God, man. All right, Tariq, what do you got? Tariq, what do you got, sir?
I got FAMU losing to Mississippi Valley State.
For those who watch,
it couldn't happen to a better team, a better school, a better program.
Oh my goodness!
So I enjoyed that this weekend.
The alumni bases, they're in a panic right now. They're gonna tell you that they're not, but they're in a panic. But just like I said on Sunday on HBCU Nightly, and I'm gonna say it tonight on MD when we go live at 9 p.m. on HBCU Nightly Network. This is what y'all asked for. This is what you asked for. You said you wanted continuity.
Now we got to see who they're going to fire. They got to fire somebody. Every time they get embarrassed, they got to fire somebody.
I supposedly the OC was demoted, but I don't, but we'll see how that goes. I got a story that involves volleyball. The CAA gave out their postseason award, their regular season awards, and shout out to Tyne Ross. She won Rookie of the Year. Shout out to Coach Hal Clifton. He won Coach of the Year. A&T was slated to be 11th. They ended up going 5th this season. And shout out to Tyne Ross for making all CAA first team and Hannah Howell for making CAA second team. So shout out to the A&T volleyball program. I think a lot of folks thought it was going to be a rebuilding year, and they said otherwise. And the tournament starts tomorrow. They go up against Hofstra, who's a really good team. Anything else you guys got on your mind?
Nope, we'll get into it.
All right. Well, I'm not going to get into it yet. We're going to take a break. And when we come back after the break, we're going to talk about these football games. I don't think I'm going to talk too much about my football game. I think I'm just going to give y'all some data to chew. Yeah, sometimes you got to have some data to chew for my guys.
No, I just want to talk about the Aggies. I like
No, we're not going to look, man. We got to listen, man. Here's the thing for me. At this point in the season, when you talk about the major Division I, HBCU football, right now, there's only 4 teams right now that are on the couch. There's only 4. There's South Carolina State, there's Jackson State, there's Southern, and there's Tennessee State. As of right now, they are not on the couch. They're not on the couch. And hopefully they won't be on the couch. And we'll talk about that after the break. We'll be right back for Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Choice Hotels is a family of brands that helps you get the most for your money so you can be any traveler you want to be.
You could be a free hot breakfast hero at a comfort hotel. Yes! That's how you waffle!
Mr. This Script got a plot twist at a Radisson hotel.
A business big leaguer.
Go for key.
Even the ultimate pool float inflator.
With 22 brands and the best value for your money, Choice Hotels has a stay for any you. Book direct at choicehotels.com, where travels come true.
Gotta get the corners.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted CAVIL'S voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working.
Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Do we want to let's start with you, Reed, because I know you got it. I know this is probably gonna be your final segment of the evening. So let's start with you regarding Hampton. How did Hampton do this weekend?
Well, they lost. I think we're getting used to moral victories here on the Pirate side, I guess, if we really subscribe to that. So Hampton lost to Richmond 21-24. So
close game, man. What is with Richmond being having these close games against us?
They from what I can see, they're not that athletic, right? But they are big and they just wear you down. They're not gonna like score a bunch of points on you, but they will just wear you down and get the last shot in. So that seems to be their game plan. That's what they did to us. That's what they did to y'all. That's what they did to a lot of folks. So we lost to them by 3. I guess the silver lining and all that is, so Richmond is number, what are they now in the season? Ranked. They are the number 10th team. Rhode Island is ranked 13th and Villanova is ranked 15th. So to those 3 teams who will all be playoff teams, we lost to them by a combined total of 11 points.
Yeah, much closer than us. I mean, we gave Richmond a fight, but we did not give any of those other teams a fight at all.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, the best part about it though is like we finally have a defense. Like it's been years when you could like get to the end of the game and you think like, hey, the team is actually going to stop somebody. This has been like a good 6-7 years. So now they get stops. The problem now is just the quarterback. Like Jeff and I have been saying for years since we joined the CA, you got to have a quarterback who can convert on third downs. Like they can't throw it into the turf, like or fumble or something like that. So our guys have been doing that late in these games, and the other teams haven't. So that's just been the problem. So once we can actually win those third downs, will be a problem. But yeah, we lost. But at least last year we would have lost that game probably by 21-28. This year we haven't. So I'm happy we got a defense, but we got a lot of injuries. A lot of guys were hurt, but also we started 2 freshmen at linebacker this week, and they handled themselves well. So I mean, the future is looking bright. I guess if that is the silver lining, that's it.
All right, and who do you guys have up next?
Albany. So
that's a winnable game, bro.
It is very winnable. It is. We beat them 2 years ago at their place on homecoming. They pissed. They were mad about that. They were mad about that. It reminds me, man. This is like almost 20 years ago. I remember the first time I ever went to JMU's campus in Hampton. This is when we were good. We went to JMU and we beat them in their place. Their coach was so mad. He wanted to play the game like the next day, like running back. He's like, how the heck we lose to that little little black school? So, what's Albany's situation? They're 3-8. They are on a 5-game losing streak, where none of them have been. Well, the last one was kind of close against Rhode Island, so they could win. But if we win, we can be 500, and that'd be better than what pretty much everyone predicted this year. So
absolutely. But I mean, you've already exceeded that. Hampton's already exceeded that already, and now you have a head coach, so now you're going to have that continuity going into the next season. So it's a great thing to see that Hampton's going in the right direction from a football standpoint.
Yes, sir. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's winnable. Like, so Albany lost a lot of talent in the portal. coming into this a lot. Like that. This we're talking about a team that made it to the semis of the FCS playoffs last year, but their roster got ravaged last year. Hence why they're 3-8.
Yeah.
But that is a wonderful game for you guys. So that's pretty good. I mean, you guys have a chance to go 500, which in the conference, this is your third, the Hampton's third season in the CAA. So this is about the direction you should be going right now. So this is good to see.
Yep.
All right, I'll go with mine next because I want to get this out the way. A&T once again lost. We're 1-10. We lost to Townsend 31-13, I think it was. It was 31-13. We pretty much scored 13 fourth quarter points to avoid the shutout because we were down 31-0 in the fourth quarter.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Like, I'll give you a quote from the post game press conference. First and foremost, we didn't want to get shut out. We've been struggling to score points all year, especially the past 5 or 6 weeks. So with about 8 or 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I said, "Hey, let's go with Fabi and try to get some points on the board." The thought
said that?
that's what he. This is what Coach Vincent Brown said. The thought behind it was A, to avoid getting shut out, and B, to build some positive momentum going into next week against Elon. I wanted to show the team that if we do things the right way, we can score points. We want another touchdown at the end to show we're going to keep fighting, keep trying to move the football to lay down a foundation for next week. So yeah, like I was on a college tour when this game was happening, so I was like listening to the game until I got to my car and finished listening to the game. So I heard the comment that the commentator said about at the end of the first half where there was no urgency, didn't seem like they were trying to score quickly when they were pretty much being shut out at that point. And the commentator said something to the point of that's what 1-9 teams do.
Woo.
And it was rough sledding. Offensively, they just couldn't get anything going. Like I think they had about a little over 122 yards in the first 3 quarters, but then they had 166 yards in the fourth. So it made me ask a lot of questions regarding that, and then it also had me digging into the rabbit hole, looking at some of the stats because I wanted to try to do some type of a comparison between last year and this year, because the thing for me is about progress, right? I want to see progression. And right now, we're giving up about 8 points more per game defensively. So over a touchdown more points defensively. And offensively, we pretty much haven't changed. Last year, last year we were at 16 points a game. This year, we're at 15. So it was a 1 point delta of how much points we score offensively. But defensively, it pretty much fell tremendously. We might be one of the worst defenses in FCS. I didn't check to see what the numbers were, but defensively, it has regressed tremendously. And considering that our head coach is a defensive-minded coach, I don't think that's acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. And when it comes to like margin of losses, the marginal losses are much higher at home than it is on the road, right? And it's not just the 42-point loss that we had against Hampton at homecoming. But it's also like we lost over 30 points to Delaware at home. We lost by 38 to William and Mary at home. Like the margin of losses at home is brutal. And so with the next matchup against Elon, I'm not optimistic that we're going to keep that game close. We played them last year. They didn't convert a single third down when we played them last year. But we still lost by 24 points last year because we had no offense. So from that standpoint, I don't see the path of us being able to beat Elon. I want them to keep it competitive, but I'm like afraid that that's what the coach is wanting to. Like as a fan, I can say those things, right? But I think I'm at the point where I feel like the coach is at the point of he's just trying to keep it close instead of trying to win the game.
I think Elon's offense is pretty bad, but their defense is good, and I think they could shut y'all out.
Oh, I'm not doubting that. I mean, I think the dilemma that I have right now is that we just have a habit of not showing up in the second half. Like I think the 13 points that we scored in the fourth quarter might have been the most we scored in a fourth quarter all season. And that was when we were pitching a shutout. I didn't go back to go double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. I have to double check that though. But I'm going to look now while you.
I got one last thought on the Aggies. So it seems like they're going to do the obvious thing. One of the coaches said on Twitter that the Aggies are hitting the portal hard.
They have to.
She ain't got no choice.
Do you trust Brown to do it?
He has to. I mean, I think.
But no, do you think he can do it? Have you seen anything over the past few years that say if he gets some talent, he'll be able to do something with it?
He got BJ Turner from the portal last year. So he, for the most part, he does pretty well getting players out of the portal. I think he had one guy this year that didn't, that had the talent, but there was other things going on. Because he already announced that he was going to the portal. He pretty much quit on the team in essence. But I think he can do it. I think the question becomes: are the expectations going to be too high for him to even survive next season, even if he does come back? Like if you ask some A&T alums, they think that he needs to win at least 5 to 6 games to keep his job after the 3rd season.
Hey, look at Stony Brook. I mean, they're ranked in the top 20.
Listen. I mean, that's the first barometer, and the response I get back is, well, Stony Brook, they got that big $500 million donation, so they might have, they got a big donation that they can use for anything.
Yeah.
So when you take that into account, and by the way, I'm looking through the scores to make sure that what I just said about the 4th quarter was accurate, and it was. That's the most they scored in the 4th quarter all season, 13 points. Even against Winston, they scored 13 points 4th quarter.
Wow.
So, but I mean, they won Winston at least. I mean, that's the only game they've won. They haven't beaten the Division I program. I mean, they didn't beat one before Valley could. So, it's rough sledding over here in that Glen. There's no question about it. But quick update on the score between A&T and Morgan State. A&T's winning, beating Morgan State 24-15 in the first half. About 10 minutes left in the first half. So Tennessee State, man, how you looking, Brandon? How you feeling, man? You got some potential chaos going right now.
There's a lot going on at 3,500 John A. Merritt, both on and off the field.
Yeah, I was going to talk about off. Maybe later tonight. I was going to put it on the show about off. There's a lot of things going on off the field for sure.
But he said, coming off beating freaking man, I don't know what it is about. I keep forgetting the name of who we just played last week. Bowling Springs.
Oh, Gardner Webb.
Help me, thank you. I don't know why I know Bowling Springs, North Carolina, and I blank out.
So you said Bowling Springs, I knew, but yeah, Gardner Webb.
So the game started off kind of strangely. It came out, scored on the first 2 drives, and it looked like after the second touchdown, Tennessee State was well in control of the game. Extra point gets blocked. They take it back to the house, 13-2. They turn around and score again. It's 13-9, and all of a sudden, you're in a bit of a dogfight. And they cut. They cut it to 1. They kicked the field goal. They cut it to 1. But Tennessee State was able to kind of hold it off, get a late score. Well, not a late score, but they got another touchdown. Gardner Webb did 2. So it was 23-20, but the game was not as close like that. There were some moments there in that 3rd quarter, because their quarterback was really able to get out of the pocket and do a lot, either scrambling or escaping it and making plays, throwing the ball down the football field there. So they were able to make some hay there. In other areas that was of concern, and I asked Coach George about this on the Big South OVC call this week, was Gardner Webb was able to do a lot in the kick return game. We've talked a lot about what TSU was be able to do in terms of their return game, but they did a horrible job of kick coverage. They got several returns of over 20 yards. And that's something they're going to have to tighten up. But ran the ball fairly well. Had our first 100-yard rusher of the season. Only took the game before the season finale. Jaden McGill, 15 carries for a buck and a touchdown. And Coach said after the game that he'd been kind of banged up a little bit earlier in the season. So they've really been kind of able to kind of integrate him a little more into the rushing game. And he was able to really pick up a lot of tough yards and a lot of yards that they needed in some critical situations. So you get that, you moved 8-3. You're now in a 3-way tie for second, headed into this matchup with SEMO. And the last time we saw him, it got ugly. And it got ugly fast. It was 44 to zip. If memory serves correct, it was bad.
Wow.
It was bad. So granted, they won their game, and really for us to win, we're gonna need some help because we are tied, like I said, for second with Martin and Tech. Both of those have the tiebreaker on us as a result of us handing them games earlier in the season. So even if they beat SEMO, still gonna need a little bit of help. But I think the conference championship is still on the table, as is a potential postseason berth. So this is a big week, and I'm optimistically cautious.
Not cautiously optimistic. I will say this. So for those who don't know the scenarios, if SEMO wins, they win the conference. Yes. If Tennessee State wins, they need Tennessee Tech and UT Martin to lose their respective games, and then Tennessee State will get the at-large bid because they get the auto qualifier because they would own the tiebreaker against SEMO. The only way Tennessee State can win the conference is if it's just a tie with them and SEMO. If everybody wins, then it'll be a 4-way tie, and SEMO will get the automatic qualifier. Well, if Tennessee State beats SEMO, then it'll be a 4-way tie, and then everybody would get then SEMO will get the automatic qualifier. Then there'll be a debate on whether or not Tennessee State gets a shot at the at-large bid. I believe there's no scenario where I believe UT Martin's the only one where they can't win the conference. There's no scenario where they could win the conference. I think there's a scenario for Tennessee Tech as well. I think if it ends up being like a 2-way tie between you two, or maybe it's one of the Tennessee teams can't win the conference. I don't have it right in front of me. This is what memory does, right? But overall, man, I hope if you guys can pull it out and beat SEMO, I think they would have. I would think the committee would have to give you guys an at-large bid at that point. I think. Now, I'm not part of the committee. I ain't got no juice like that. But I think if you guys beat SEMO, I think you guys should get in. I think you guys will take one of the last at-large spots.
Yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it.
Or I think even if they do lose, but it's a close competitive game, I think it's still in the realm of possibility.
It is, but I think there's going to be like a lot of level of help. Like you're going to have a different type of chaos in a lot of conferences because the CAA is probably going to get four slots. So something ugly's got to have to happen. CAA might get 5. Well, the only reason why they wouldn't get 5 is because Delaware's not eligible.
Yeah. They'll get 4.
They'll get at least 4.
At least 4.
And I think they have a possibility of 5 if craziness happens.
Yeah.
I'm pro end of season conference chaos. So bring it on.
Me too.
I want us to have to go to like the 6-degree tiebreaker, the most as AD Drew would say, the most Miakish craziness that we can get. I want it.
Brandon, the worst thing about that, and I got to sign off, is like, if y'all get in like the crazy back end way, they're going to send you to like South Dakota State or something like that. That's the only.
Well, they'll have a bye. They won't have to go there first round.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the positive thing, because the top 8 teams gets a bye.
All right. So you play somebody reasonable.
You'll play somebody reasonable, and then you'll get South Dakota State in the second round if you win.
Hey, can I add one thing before I sign off? This Lennon Blow, is that his real name? Who's talking a lot of trash in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost. We lost twice to no folks. It happens. It happens. We'll get you next time. Enjoy it. Enjoy.
Listen, man. Listen, Norfolk is a basketball school. They don't have any MEAC titles.
That's all they do.
They don't have any MEAC football titles. I want to remind Norfolk State that y'all don't have any MEAC football titles. Right. And the one that y'all did win got vacated. Y'all don't have any MEAC football titles. So enjoy basketball season.
Yep.
But one thing's going to be clear. My Lady Aggies are going to be healthy. We're going to take care of y'all the day after the Celebration Bowl. I'm going to put that out there for y'all in the air.
Woo! Man.
We're going to put that out there in the air. We're winless right now. I understand that. We're 0-4, but we're injured. We're going to be healthy by December.
Yep.
So we'll be ready for you guys when y'all come to Club Corbett the day after the Celebration Bowl.
All right, fellas.
I'll be in the building. So Lennon, I hope you come. All right. We appreciate you coming.
All right.
We'll be right back after this break. Tune in to. We'll be right back after this break. This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Hey, grab me one too.
Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Choice Hotels is a family of brands that helps you get the most for your money so you can be any traveler you want to be.
You could be a free hot breakfast hero in a comfort hotel. Yes! That's how you waffle!
Mr. This script got a plot twist at a Radisson hotel.
A business big leaguer.
Go for key.
Even the ultimate pool float inflator.
With 22 brands and the best value for your money, Choice Hotels has a stay for any you. Book direct at choicehotels.com, where travels come true.
Gotta get the corners.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip-hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want to lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show. Let's talk some basketball. Or we can, if you want to talk about what's going on in Tennessee State, we can, but it's your call, Mr. King.
We can talk some hoops. There'll be plenty of time to talk about that. I want to focus on some
sports. Nothing wrong with that at all. So with regards to hoops, the A&T men, like I said earlier, are playing Morgan State right now. They're up 30-19 with about 6 minutes left in the half. And right now they're currently 2-2 in out of conference play. They just beat the Citadel on the road, 82-73, and they had a close loss to George Washington University, 80-85 on the road as well. So overall, they were projected, I believe, to place 10th in the CAA. I think it was 10th place. So based on what I've been seeing so far, I think they're going to go above that projection. And most of every sport other than football has pretty much exceeded their expectations from a preseason standpoint while they've been in the conference. So I think they're going to place higher than 10th. They got phenomenal guard play. They did some Coach Monty Ross did some work in the portal, and they got some pretty good players that came out of the portal. So I think we're going to be much better much improved from last season.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting to see how you guys come out. You were saying that you all were that was the women's. You were saying that was dealing with the injury bug.
Yeah, the Lady Aggies, they're 0-4 right now. Shania Clark, she was out for a period of time at the beginning of the season. She's back now, but Malia Bracone, who was all defense CAA last season, I believe she was on I think she was first team CAA or second team CAA last year as well. She got injured in the opener. In the first game, and which was the craziness where they had to play in the practice court because of all the issues going on against SMU with their home court.
Yeah.
So, and like we also have the Maya Tucker who got hurt in the final game of the WNIT, and so we'll see if she returns later this year. But overall, man, we were able to recruit really well. We still got some pretty good talent on our roster. I think there's a positive to it. We get to see some other players get more minutes, get more time, so they'll get they'll be ready for conference play. And I'm hoping by the time December rolls around, Bracone comes back and things of that sort. So we'll see. I'm not concerned yet. I think I would be worried if we lose to Winston-Salem State tomorrow. We have Winston tomorrow, and I believe later in the week we also have the school down the road. Those games are both going to be in Club Corbett. We should not lose to either one of those schools. So I would probably be concerned if we do. Like we had our opportunities to beat Rice. We gave up like a 7-point lead, like with minutes left in the game. Like we should have beaten Rice. Mercer, it was just they couldn't get any shots. Couldn't any shots to drop in the second half, which was brutal. We had a pretty good lead going into the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get the shots down. We just lost to Mercer. So I think once the team gels and mesh, I don't think we're going to have an issue going to the conference. I think the only team that scares me a bit in the CAA is Charleston. Charleston's legit.
How long are those young ladies supposed to be out?
Well, we don't really have too many details on Bracone. It just didn't look good. But I'm hearing the Maya Tucker might not even play. It's like it was bad. Yeah, but that hasn't been a done deal yet. They could be a red shirt type of situation, because I was at the game when she got hurt last season, and it was the final game, and it takes time for those type of injuries to heal. But I think Bracone will probably be back. I expect Bracone to be back prior to conference play beginning. But she's our best defensive player. But Jordan Dorsey is our best overall player. She's healthy and she's doing what she needs to do. But I think right now the biggest concern I've seen so far with the ladies is that she's the only one that's like getting points on the board offensively, and that's not sustainable long term. Particularly once you get into conference play.
Yeah.
So
I think down here, I think even with some of the less than stellar amount of fans that somewhat turn out, there's still a lot of attention on football. But like I said, the men's team, they just came off. I said 78. I'm sorry, it was 77 points.
Oh Jesus! Don't overshoot yourself now, Mr.
That's
King.
right. I want to be accurate with 77 points. They beat them by. So they've got Chattanooga coming up on the 25th. Whatever, my days are so completely thrown off. So, and like I said earlier, that game with East West, you take from it what it is. You can't really get a bead on that. So, we'll once we kind of get things back returned to normal, we can kind of better assess what these guys got. Like I said, there's a lot of new moving parts, because we had a lot to replace. Your starting guard, your leading scorer from last year, a couple of bigs that really provided a lot on the interior. So Coach Collins had a lot of pieces to kind of put back together. So we're picked to finish in fourth in the conference. And really, at least on the men's side, it's really been similar to the football program in that you can see it kind of somewhat trending in the right direction, and they just have not been able to kind of get that one signature win to kind of help them bang through to the upper echelons of the conference. So I think this, like football, it could be a potentially a pivotal year, a defining year for the team. You know, they kind of want to move forward and break through to the next level. And so on the women's side, you know, it's kind of it's a situation where you're kind of looking to get the program back on the right track. But I have a lot of faith in Coach Dupree and what she's going to bring to the table in terms of her experience. And I really think once she gets in there and kind of can further put her handprint on the program, I really think that basketball from the women's standpoint will move in the right direction. And we can already see some signs of it. We just Sana Kamara, she just won, was named Freshman of the Week. Mm. So you start when you have players that are starting to do that at this point already in their careers. It says that you're getting players in there. I can't say you're getting dudes in there because we're talking about ladies. You get some ballettes in there, some ballerettes in there to help set that program back in the right direction. So once we totally turn our attention from football, I think the basketball will get a lot more attention and focus. That they deserve, and we'll kind of see how this season turns out on both the women's and on the men's side.
Well, you know me, man. I've been part of the basketball season for a little while now, so I've been looking forward to finding other sports to look myself forward to with regards to what's been going on in the football year. So, but now, I mean, I'm happy that the men they're turning the corner. I mean, Monty Ross has done a tremendous job on the men's side. Like I said, I'm not worried about the women yet. There's no reason to be. Injuries are part of the game. It just takes a little bit of time. So I'm not concerned. I'm not worried yet. I mean, I could legitimately think that we probably could have potentially been 2-2, 3 or 2-2 at worst. But they're 0-4 now. They'll probably get their first win tomorrow, and they'll run that and into going against the school down the road 4 days later. So that's what I'm shooting for, and that's for the men right now. About 2.5 minutes left in the half. A&T's up 10 points, 36-26 against Morgan State. Well, 38-26 against Morgan State. So 12-point lead right now. Playing really good right now for sure. All right. What you got right now?
I'm going to reiterate. Yeah, like I said earlier, and you with the injuries, you got some ladies that are getting some minutes that they might not otherwise gotten to take those lumps now. And like I said, when you move on to conference and tournament play, they'll be battle tested. So that's only going to help the ball club.
I completely agree. And so you got true freshmen getting opportunities and things of that sort. So can't be mad at that. All right, we're gonna take our last break. When we come back, I'll figure out what we talk about. Maybe we'll talk about what happened in the MEAC. Congratulate some teams. We got some champions. So we'll congratulate some teams after the break.
Yes, sir.
This is Dr. CAVIL'S Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Lavert Experience and Sunshine Anderson. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app that brings Eatonville's legacy to life from your phone. Enjoy family-friendly STEM activities and explore over 80 unique vendors. Please don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets or to become a vendor. We'll see you in Eatonville, the oldest black incorporated municipality in the country.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Indy Report. I got my man Brandon King with me tonight. All right, man. Let's give some congratulations. Congratulations to the South Carolina State Bulldogs. They clinched the MEAC championship after beating Morgan State. And let me tell y'all something.
What did they have?
What made it more impressive was the fact that Eric Phoenix got hurt in the first quarter, and they still did what they did to that defense.
Yeah.
So that, and I watched that game, man. That was pure dominance from across the board. But shout out to South Carolina State. The last time they went to the Celebration Bowl, they ran the table in the MEAC. They got an opportunity to do that again this upcoming weekend against Norfolk State. They're currently 4-0 in the conference, but congratulations to them. And let me tell y'all something, man. That's going to be a hard out to whoever gets in the SWAC. Shout out to the SWAC, though. Southern clinched the SWAC West. Jackson State clinched the SWAC East. So we got our championship in the books. I know some folks aren't too excited that they got to wait 3 weeks for this game, but it is what it is, guys. Like those are the breaks. You know, your other schools should have did what you needed to do. Know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about the couch. A lot of teams are on the couch now. A lot of teams are in basketball season now. I've been sitting here for a little while waiting for basketball season. But now a lot of you guys are going to be joining me. So I want to welcome you guys. Welcome to basketball season. Because a lot of you guys are on the couch. There's still football left, and we're going to get into that. We already got into that for the whole show primarily. But most of you guys, it's basketball season now. So join the couch with me. You know what I'm saying? There's some good basketball going on. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. So I'm welcome. That's why I wanted to wear this shirt. Welcome to basketball season. Did you get to watch some of the games, man? What did you think?
First of all, what SCSU did to Morgan, wow. Like I said, didn't see that coming. I thought they would win, but I thought the margin would be much closer considering how well Morgan State's defense had been playing. I wasn't expecting much from the Morgan offensively, but for them to just absolutely dismantle them on both sides of the ball like that.
The biggest problem with Morgan State, primarily, especially now that we're near the end of the season, is that they got a phenomenal defense, but that offense is so rough, man. It tires the defense out, and now you got a South Carolina State team that's fast on both sides of the ball, physical on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
they warm out.
I mean, your defense has only got but so many snaps in them.
Yeah,
and I think they just got to that breaking point against South Carolina State, and I mean, Coach Berry and what they've done. I mean, they're looking like a machine down there right now.
Coach Berry ain't lost a conference game in 3 seasons, man.
Crazy.
It's not fair, you know. And it's funny because when the coaching carousel was starting last season, the MEAC's biggest fear was Chennis Berry being in that conference because of what he did in the SAIC, and I don't think a lot of folks expected him to win that conference as dominant as they did. But here we are, and they're going to Atlanta. They're going to get their golden ticket at home next week in the Norfolk State game. But so shout out to South Carolina State, shout out to Southern, shout out to Jackson State. Shout out to Virginia Union.
Yes.
For winning the CIAA, and shout out to Miles, who's going to be hosting a home game in the Division II tournament.
Yes.
You know, so shout out to them as well. They beat Clark Atlanta in dominating fashion. But Teddy Keaton can keep his head up high. They had a phenomenal season. That team was 0-10 the previous year.
Yeah.
So so for me, shout out to them. For the turnaround. I think, nobody wants to hear this, especially the folks that are in Clark and at Miles and all these other Division II programs that are being very successful right now. Some of these schools might lose some coaches after this once the season ends.
So, it's funny you mention that because all the teams that you name, they're candidates for other schools, as we know, because I think we know that the coaches that started out SWAC and MEAC media days this past season, it's going to be some different names on the table, on the placards on the table this season, and it's just a matter of who. Because, like I said, you look at what Sam Shade has done at Miles and how quickly he's turned that program around. Both of the coaches in the SIAC title game have done amazing jobs in terms of transforming their programs in short order. And just like you touched on earlier, I mean, Clark went from a school last year. Here's an interesting stat. The past 6 seasons, Clark Atlanta has won 8 games. That includes not 1, but 2 winless seasons. And for them they won 7 this year. So,
it's incredible.
Think about what they've done. And yeah, I know they brought in David Wright. They brought, some of those guys. But you look at just what he has done. This was a team that last you could pencil in for a win. Who we playing? Clark? Oh, yeah, we're just add 1 to the win column. We got this. It was not a matter of if you're going to win. It was how much. And for a good stretch of the season, they were the class of the SIAC. They hit a few stumbles and bumps, but they still were able to make it to the title game. You had the MVP of the league and David Wright III. You had several guys who made first and second all SIAC off that roster. So, I mean, it was a whale of a job. And obviously the same thing could be said for Coach Shade, because while Clark was getting a lot of the attention, and understandably so, and especially when they got off to that 0-2 start, they just went quietly about their business, racking up wins, beating whoever was in front of them. You ride into the playoffs on an 8-game winning streak. You hadn't had, I think it's been 40 years since they've had a perfect record in conference, something crazy like that. So tremendous job. And yeah, if your coaching situation may be a little tenuous, Alabama A&M comes to mind.
I'm hearing right now that he's safe. He's likely safe.
I've heard something similar. I'm just being funny, but yeah.
No, there's others. Don't let me. There's others, guys.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple, including the shirt that I'm wearing.
Whatever school is obviously going to show their coaches the door. If Sam Shade and Teddy Keaton should be at the top of your list, if they're not in the top 3, then you're not doing your due diligence. Why are you even playing football? But those teams did a great job, and so that can't be remiss. And even when you look at going back into the SWAC, you look at Southern, like you look up and every week's like, how did they manage to win this week? Because it's like never the same each week.
And that's the most dangerous teams, man. If they can win different ways, that is so dangerous, man.
Like, how do you game plan for that when you win games 5 different ways in a season? And it's funny with what Coach Graves has done, considering if you recall that when they had some of those board meetings, there was some rather vociferous people in that room that did not want him to get that job, and they made it known. They talked about him like he wasn't in the room, but he was in the room. Like, man, tell us how you really feel. And here it is. You look, and he's got him in the SWAC championship game, and then if he wins the Bayou Classic, that's just more icing on the cake. So there's so many teams that have just done a tremendous job in going from perennial conference roadkill to now you're the cream of the conference. So it's going to be interesting to see how Miles does in the postseason, how the SWAC's going to shake out as that leads into the Celebration Bowl. So although there's a lot of teams that are currently on the couch. There's still some good football left to be played, and to determine how this thing is going to shake out. So I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. All right, we need to close out. I gotta make sure I close out on time. I didn't close out on time last week. Thank you for listening for Inside HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Let me see here, because I don't have the whole spill, man. I feel a way about that. Hold on. I know that ain't the whole spill. Make sure you follow Dr. Kenyatta Cavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Make sure you go to sneakershoptalk.com and go check out Brandon's stuff. I'm still on Twitter for now, and that's my handle for now. But I've been slowly but surely walking my way to Blue Sky. Like, I'm on Blue Sky right now. I'm trying to figure it out. Just for Blue Sky, you just remove the digits in my handle right there that you see. My handle is ChampD1012 on Twitter though. Dream big and continue to move forward. We will talk to you soon. Brandon,
course.
Lecture dismiss.